Hi guys, welcome to this month's video. I'll quickly introduce the coffees. So we've got a Kista Hippo Colombian Archilla. This is from the Armenia and Quindia region. It's a Castillo variety. It's an anaerobic natural process, and the taste notes are pineapple, mango and blackberry jam. Second up, we've got a Obadiah coffee. This is from Bolivia, from the Caranavi region. It's a mix of Caturra and Catay. It's a washed process, and the taste notes on this are toffee apple and pecan. So in your box this month, and for all future first purchases, you'll find a cupping spoon. And in this video and in future videos, we're going to cup both coffees side by side and compare them. In your box, you'll see a simple cupping form that we've made. When we cup the coffees, we're going to fill this out together. On the form, you'll see lots of different sections, and these are all different areas that we're going to compare the coffees on. Each area has a description box, so you can write down how you would describe what you picked up in each area. So now I'm going to show you how to set up a cupping. So when you cup, it's really important to always slurp. We can only actually taste 5 things. These are sweet, sour, salty, bitter and umami. The reason we slurp is it sprays the flavours all around the mouth. Some of the flavours go up into the nasal area where you pick up the smell of the coffee, and it's the smell and the taste that make up the flavour. So I've got both my coffees weighed out in here now, and first I'm going to smell the coffee as it's ground. So I've not added any water yet, so I'm going to smell the Obadiah first. So to me this one smells a little bit chocolatey. I can tell it's got a little bit of acidity in the background. And the Kista Hippo straight away is way more acidic. Smells almost sherbety. And then on your form, what you need to do is, in the smell area, mark which one you felt had a more intense smell. So I'm going to take Kista Hippo, and then I'm also going to make some notes about what I perceived in each coffee. So now I'm going to add the water to both coffees, and I'll be back in 4 minutes to break the crust. So now I'm going to break the crust. It's been 4 minutes. And again, when we do this, we're going to be talking about smell again. So I'm going to start with the Obadiah. So with that one again, I'm getting some chocolatey flavours and an appley flavour. I'm getting with that. So I'm going to put apple in the Obadiah one. Now I'm going to do the Kista Hippo. And that one smells a little bit less acidic than it did to me when I smelled the grounds. And I'm smelling a bit like darker fruit flavours, like a cherry flavour now. So I'm going to write that down as well. And now all we need to do is, like we showed in the video, scoop the top layer of coffee off, and then we'll wait until the time is at 10 minutes. And then we're 10 minutes now since we first poured the water in. So I'm going to cup thinking about acidity first. I'm going to start with the Obadiah one. And again, we're going to just tick on our sheet which one we feel like has more acidity, and then make some notes about the acidity. It's really important to clean your spoon in the water you've got after each one as well, just so you don't taste both coffees together. So I think the Kista Hippo has more acidity. I would describe the acidity of that one as quite sharp, almost like a blackcurrant acidity. For the Obadiah one, the acidity is quite mellow, and I would describe that as like a green apple-like acidity. And so the next thing I'm going to think about when I'm cupping is the body of the coffee. This is the weight of the coffee on the tongue and the mouthfeel. So a really good tip I got recently to taste body. Instead of slurping, just drink from the spoon, and then it's much easier to feel how the coffee feels on the tongue rather than slurping and spraying it all over the mouth. So I'm going to do one slurp and then one where I just drink it so I can feel how it feels. So I'd say, for me, the Kista Hippo has a slightly heavier body. I would describe the Obadiah mouthfeel as a bit creamy. It feels like it really coats the tongue. So the next thing we're going to taste for is sweetness. So for me, I would say that Obadiah is slightly sweeter. I always think of sweetness as quite similar to the balance of the coffee. For me, a coffee is sweet when it's got a really good balance of acidity and bitterness. That middle point where those two are balanced is what makes coffee sweet to me. I would describe the sweetness of the Kista Hippo a bit like a sour sweet. It's not just sweet, it's got quite a lot of acidity and sourness with it as well. The sweetness of the Obadiah is a bit like brown sugar. It's quite rounded and balanced. And some of the apple flavours in the Obadiah also contribute to the sweetness. So next thing we're going to talk about is flavour. In this area, I want you to think about how complex the coffee is. Some coffee is very one-dimensional, so you might only be able to pick up one or two flavours. Other coffee is very complex, so you might have 4 or 5 flavours that you pick up throughout the process of cupping the coffee. So for me, the Kista Hippo wins on this one. It's much more complex. It's got a lot of acidity, a lot of body, and some sweetness as well. And the overriding flavour for me is really like blackcurrant juice, and it's quite sherbety as well. For the Obadiah, it's much more mellow and balanced. There isn't as many in-your-face flavours. So the next thing we're going to talk about is balance. And for me, when I'm thinking about balance, I think about how harmonised all the flavours are. So does one flavour overpower the rest, or are they all in line and together? So for me again with this one, I would mark the Obadiah as more balanced. For me, the Obadiah tastes like it's all in harmony. It's got a nice sweetness, a nice acidity, and a nice body, and they all work really well together. The Kista Hippo is a bit more in your face. It's quite sharp, sour. You taste some of the fermenty flavours from the anaerobic natural process. The balance of the coffee is something you can change through the way you brew it. So with this coffee, I'd probably extract it a little bit more to take away some of the sourness and get some more sweetness, and that would make it a little bit more balanced. So I hope you enjoyed the first cupping. If you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch with us.